Have you ever wanted to start a campaign off right, but the only thing your boring books are giving you are rats and zombies? Then look no further, as your lore master Noah takes you on an exciting adventure to explore the top 5 beginner battles for your next Dungeons & Dragons campaign. So whether you're a DM that's looking for a way to spice up your next adventure, or just a new player looking for a thrilling encounter, this list is going to be your secret weapon. So ready those spell books and sharpen those swords for another epic adventure here on Ink and Iron. Bursting into our top 5, we have Mephits. These little elementals are like the spice rack of the monster world. You can toss them into any environment, they'll be perfect in any situation, making a more memorable fight for your fresh and hungry adventurers. From dusk to storm, each Mephit has its own unique elemental twist, each one bringing its own level of chaos into the fight. But what makes Mephits truly stand out is their breath weapon and their death burst. Imagine the shock on your players' faces as they're battering down this pesky little prankster, and then suddenly the tables are turned with the final death wish as it wants to take all of your players with it. And Mephits are the ultimate ambush artists. Thanks to their false appearance, they could be that icicle that's chilling out or that puff of smoke that's waiting to cause some elemental chaos. When your players are in prime position, it's time to give them a face full of elemental fury. Want to add a pinch of panic? Have a dust Mephit throw some pocket sand in the face of your adventurers. Or if you're looking for a more deadly encounter, let the magma Mephits get heated up and start spitting fire on your friends. Mephits aren't just combat challenges, they're role-playing gold. With their mischievous nature and elemental quirks, they can be the pranksters of the dungeon, the disgruntled guardians of a wizard's tower, or even a reluctant informant if persuaded or bribed correctly. Moving on to number 4 in our creature countdown, we've got the Blights, nature's own grumpy gardeners. Vine, twig, and needle blights aren't just your average plants, they're Mother Nature's angry agitators of the forest. Twig blights are a perfect way to start a fight in any forest with their false appearance. With vine blights, it's like the forest floor springs to life to fight you as your players walk into your hidden trap. When they're in a group, it's like a flash mob of foliage. One minute it's peace and quiet, and the next it's a full-blown leafy brawl as these sticks decided they've been stepped on for the last time. And don't forget the needle blights, nature's own Lee Harvey Oswald's camouflage on the grassy knoll. Perfect for mixing in a little bit of ranged action to the fight, making your players watch their heads for any possible aerial support. Use them to turn any simple forest trek into an intense battle of wits and reflexes. They're a perfect reminder for your players that in D&D, that even the scenery can be out to get you. Stomping into number 3 on our list, we have the Grimlocks. Imagine if humans decided, hey, let's evolve in the creepiest way possible. That's your Grimlock. Once normal people, now they look like what you would get if you mixed a horror movie and a survival guide and had a baby. But Grimlocks didn't start out as the charming creatures they are today. Thanks to some mind flayer worship and a diet that makes Hannibal Lecter look like a picky eater, they went from humans to something out of a sick and twisted fairy tale. Less happily ever after and more once upon a nightmare. When the Grimlocks lost their eyesight, they amped up their other senses. They can hear a pin drop in the next cave and smell your barbarian coming from a mile away. Forget seeing is believing. For these guys, smelling is surviving. Plus, their tracking method comes straight out of a horror playbook. They leave behind ghastly entrails. Think blood, guts, and things you don't want to step in. Walking into Grimlock territory is like stepping into a scratch and sniff horror scene. In combat, their blindness is actually a plus. They're not falling for your visual tricks or disguises.
It's like playing hide and seek with somebody who can smell your fear.
And Grimlocks are still out there, fighting a war that's never over for them, constantly kidnapping for their mind flayer overlords. It's like they've got the worst case of Stockholm Syndrome mixed with a never-ending game of capture the flag. So that's the Grimlocks for you, a walking reminder of why you don't join cults. Sneaking in at number 2, we have the Nothics, a bunch of arcane flunkies that dropped out of school and instead fell right into Horrorville courtesy of a curse from Vecna. Imagine a wizard that's so obsessed with forbidden knowledge that they turn into a creature that's 1 part golem and 1 part private detective. This is what you get when a pursuit of arcane power goes horribly wrong. It isn't always just dying to your own fireball. These guys have a creepy ability that they use to unearth your darkest secrets. It's like having a conversation with somebody who's read your diary, your text messages, your emails, and they still want more from you, so it's just about as bad as being with your ex. And let's not forget their charming party trick, rotting gaze. It's like they look at you and say, hey, I think you'd look better if you were decomposing. That's not a look you want during your candlelit date. Nothics are great for adding a layer of mystery and unease to your campaign. They're the ideal creepy occupant for any arcane-rich environment. Or use them as plot catalysts, ready to trade information or reveal your player's secrets in exchange for magical items. Leaping into first place on our monster roster, we've got Bullywogs. These aren't your friendly neighborhood Kermit the Frogs either. They're more like if Kermit had a gang, lived in a swamp, and also had delusions of grandeur. They strut around with self-given titles, bowing and scraping to each other, forever in a cutthroat race to their froggy overlords, trying to impress them with baubles and magical trinkets. With their green to brown camo skin, bullywogs are the perfect ninjas of the swamp, and they've got this whole foul aristocracy going on, as if a bunch of frogs tried LARP in Game of Thrones. It's usually the sweet life of Wet and Warty, since life as a bullywog is like a never-ending spa day in a bit of murky water. Constantly needing to be moist, they're living it up in rainforests and damp caves, always ready for a muddy brawl. Start a fight and the bullywogs are all about overwhelming you in number, but chicken out when the going gets tough. They follow the motto, if you can't beat them, well, run away and find someone who's weaker. As your players splash through swamps, hearing ribbits and croaks, it won't be a serene nature setting for long as the bullywogs leap into action. Give your players a royal rumble, or they're perfect for when you need a funny villain that thinks they're going to be the next big frog in the swamp politics. Bullywogs being the self-appointed monarchs of muck, they are the perfect dash of humor in any campaign or a leap of challenge for your swampy adventures. And that, my fellow dungeon delvers, wraps up our Whirlwind Top 5 unique beginner battles to spice up your early game campaign. From the sneaky Grimlocks to the jumpy bullywogs, D&D is a treasure trove of quirky creatures that will help challenge your party. Did any of these monsters surprise you, or do you have your own favorite oddball creature to unleash? Share your stories and tips in the comments below. If you enjoyed this journey through the Monster Manual's less traveled paths, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell, because here at Ink and Iron, the adventure never ends.